In the stock market, when a lot of people get, say, excited about a stock, they can cause overbought situations or oversold situations, where there's just the excitement is kind of driving the price up real fast or driving the price down real fast. We're going to learn about how you can use a real simple to use indicator to see when that might be occurring and how to trade off that and become profitable off that coming up. Welcome to the channel where we help you to learn fast so you can gain confidence and become a successful investor. If that sounds good to you, do consider subscribing. All right, the indicator I'm talking about is called the RSI, or Relative Strength Index. And basically what the definition or what is, it's a technical analysis measurement that measures the recent price changes in terms of the magnitude of these recent price changes to determine if there's an overbought or oversold condition of a stock, or really any kind of asset. Works for Forex, works for cryptocurrency as well. So if you learn it, you can use it in those other markets as well too. And it's a very, very easy to understand one, and I'm going to actually show you with real companies how to observe that or how to see it. It's very, very easy. One of the easiest things in technical analysis. Technical analysis, by the way, is a lot of times known as charting, where you're looking at charts and you're looking at patterns to make decisions about whether to buy or sell a stock. I have an entire course on technical analysis, like over 12 hours long. So this kind of stuff interests you as you're watching. Do check out the course in the description information below. All right, so with the Relative Strength Index, it basically has a measure between 0 and 100. That's what it's going to tell you, and you'll see it here coming up, 0 to 100. And you're really looking for numbers around 70 and 30. If it's above 70, that's showing a overbought situation, which means it's an opportunity to either, if it's overbought, to either sell stock we own, short the stock that it's going down, or avoid buying that stock because it's an overbought situation already. Or if it's below 30, then it's an oversold situation. There's some negative news, something to cause it to go down too far, too fast. And it might be an opportunity now as a buyer to come in and buy low, which is the idea, right? Buy low, sell high, where you might be able to get something at a good discount in effect that's been oversold. So how do we see this in action? How can we use this tool in action as far as, let's look at some specific stocks, and I'm going to show you in overbought situations and oversold situations and a little bit of other extra information too. So let's take a look. Okay, I happen to be over here at tradingview.com. It's a free site, so you could replicate this and follow along on your own. The free version has lots of ads, so you've been warned it's got lots of ads. So let's look up some stocks and their relative strength index. I just clicked on search markets at the top here. You can put in the symbol like Apple. I'm going to put in Acceleron, which is a biotech firm here, Acceleron Pharma. And they've been under rumors that Merck, a big, monster big pharmaceutical company, is going to buy them, right? So their stock is really accelerated. The rumors it's going to buy for $180. So this is Acceleron, and you want to click on it. So it says see more on the world's #1 charts, or it might say full interactive chart. There'll be a little square box up here. So click on that if you want to replicate that. But you can see here, this is Acceleron. I'm looking at their daily prices, some candlesticks, and you can kind of see their prices, right? You can just see like maybe going along. This is, the days going a little bit back in time, and all of a sudden, whoa, there's this rumor that, or more than a rumor, but kind of a strong rumor that Merck is going to buy them. So what happens, right? So if we look at it, we draw a line here, it just goes skyrocketing straight up, right? Boom, right here, it goes up. This line by here is my moving average. This happens to be set as a 14-day one, so you can kind of see how prices are going. When things cross below the moving average, that's kind of a sell signal, and when it crosses above, that's kind of a buy signal. So it's definitely well above the moving average, so it's still in the strong upward trend. But you can see it's skyrocketing up, so you might be asking yourself, well, that looks good. But especially if I bought down here, that's excellent. But could we be in an overbought situation? This go up too far, too fast, and it's ready to come down. In fact, we're already starting to see a little red in this candle, saying people might be starting to get a little exhausted here and might be looking to start coming back down. So how we do it, we look at the relative strength index. So on TradingView, how you do it is you just easily go to indicators. You just type in a search for indicator. That you can see they got thousands of indicators. Again, in my technical analysis course, 12-hour course, we go into all that. But I'm just going to type in RSI. Search and find relative strength index, right? So I'm just going to click on relative strength index. And you'll see at the bottom here, it's overlaid a new chart. And remember I was telling you the relative strength index goes from 0 to 100, or excuse me, to 100. Well, actually, it would be up here, up to 100. So this whole space here is that 0 to 100. And the sweet spot is where you want to look at is the 70 to the 30, right? So if it's above 70, that shows an overbought situation. If it's under 30, it's an oversold situation. So when it's over 70, we got to be thinking, I might not want to buy now. This might be overbought. Again, nothing's perfect, but it's indicating to me that it might be with the RSI, that we're in an overbought situation. So how is Acceleron, because of this rumor being bought by Merck, how is that looking on our RSI? So you see this line go across here. You can see it's well above the 70. The kind of this gray area, bluish area helps mark that out. Look at that. What is that? You can see the number to the right there. It's like at 89, 90, right? It's coming up at around 90. Well overbought. If I was looking at this, I'd say, wow, that's a well overbought situation. Doesn't mean I won't buy it. Doesn't mean if you bought here, you can see it was well above here too, and it kept going, and it kept going higher. Sometimes that can happen where it'll stay up there for a while, but it's still showing there's an opportunity for it to be, for the price to be exhausted and for people now to take their profits who might have been buying in here and start selling and driving that price down, and then driving it back down in here as far as an overbought or oversold situation. So that's what we're looking for, is above 70 is showing that overbought, below 30 oversold. This, I would argue, this is definitely an overbought situation. I would be watching for it to turn around in price, and I'd be real careful about investing it, because it's ripe for a price turn. Especially if it came out like today or someday soon that Merck said, no, we're not buying them, that price is going to skyrocket down. Could you skyrocket down? It's going to plummet down. I'm going to click on this ticker symbol here. Let's look at another one on an overbought situation, or see if it's overbought, because UNFI, United Natural Foods, had some really good earnings announcement. They provide wholesale food, organic food, to big companies like Whole Foods Markets, which is owned by Amazon, and 30,000 other grocers. So you can see here it says E, that means they just had an earnings announcement, and they just crushed they had a really good earnings announcement, and the CEO had a lot of positive stuff to say about the future. So what happened? Their stock was I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. You can see their stock was kind of bouncing around, not much movement. See, it's real narrow trading range, above and below the moving average line a little bit, really kind of whipsawing, just kind of up and down. They have their earnings announcement, things look great. All of a sudden, wow, we have a gap up, what's called a gap up, where the next day it just jumps right up, and beyond the range of the previous day, jumps up. Look at that big, tall, positive close candlestick. It closed right up here, at around 47. It had been right around 37, up $10, and then went up the next day. So right now we've got this real strong upward just jump up, right? And look what happened as far as the RSI and the overbought, oversold. You can see it's been really bouncing around in the middle here, not an overbought or oversold situation, really kind of in the middle, which is reflected in the chart up here too. Well, nothing's really much happening. Earnings announcement happens, it starts to go up, and then it goes boom. It goes well above 70. Right now we're sticking at around 87. Definitely like Acceleron in this overbought situation. So if you bought in here or you bought anywhere back in here, it's like, boy, I had a nice pop in profit, but maybe it's time to sell if I owned it. Or if I'm going to buy, it might stick up here for a while, but right now this is showing that this went up real far, real fast. All right, now let's look at a couple real quick, couple that as far as some overbought, oversold situation. We're going to see if something might be oversold. We'll look at our friend Facebook here. Is always good for a good controversy, where they can cause people to hate them and really go down and be sold off, right? So here's Facebook. Let's go back in time here a little bit. And you can see Facebook overall has had this nice kind of, periods of upward trends, right? Here's a nice upward trend here. Let's go like this. And you can kind of see how they had this nice upward trend, and the trend broke and it got in kind of a sideways movement here for a while. And then, they start having some controversies, right? You see a cross below the moving average. That's a sell signal, by the way. In the course, talk all about that. So really crossed below that line, and now we're in this, broke through here, and now we're in a definite kind of downtrend, right? We're in this definite, kind of overall downtrend here now. So we had some nice big rise up, then it went flat, and then we had some controversy in here. This was the part where, they were reporting that their own internal research was showing that Instagram had some bad things did not help teenage girls as far as with body image. And there's some things around suicidal thoughts. There's other controversies around special treatment for VIPs on the Facebook platform, content creators. And so a lot of people got out of it, and a lot of negative publicity. Remember, Facebook always can have some controversy coming up. They did good here because they had a great earnings announcements, right? They had a great earnings announcement here and really started going up, and even right here before the earnings announcement. But controversy drove them down. So what happened in terms of relative strength index? Well, we see during this period where it really started to go up pretty steady. It wasn't an overbought situation right away because it was a strong but steady rise. Approach 70 here, approach that top line. Remember, 100 is the top, but you're looking at things above 70 for an overbought. Never really got there, but got close. Then the controversies happen. It starts going way down, way fast, but doesn't break through the 30, right? It's close. It's right at 30. You're close to an oversold situation. You still is indicating that we're in a downward trend. You could look at other indicators to help confirm and stuff. So it's kind of an interesting thing as far as that goes. So, but not classic oversold as far as if the measure is 30. Let's look at one more here before we wrap up. Adobe, which has been at the time of this filming a really strong, high-performing stock. You might know Adobe for Photoshop and all sorts of software products they do. So these are daily candles, daily things. And you can see it's had these nice, again, some nice upward overall trends, then flattens out, and now we are seeing a downtrend here, right? We're seeing a definite downtrend with Adobe. It broke through that moving average. You can change these moving average numbers and things. This happens to be a 14-day one, but you can see that that's a sell signal, and that was probably a pretty good sell signal because it did go down. So now I'm thinking, and you can see that an earnings announcement here, still doing good as a company, but the people are taking profits. They had this long run up. Look at this overall trend let's keep going back. Look at this long overall trend for Adobe as far as, I'm going to draw a trend line here. This long overall trend for Adobe, going up here, up, and up, as far as that goes. But you can see recently, which is when maybe you're thinking about buying, a person would be, you can see that it's in this downtrend. So the RSI was showing that it was above, this is a case where it's above that 70 for a long period of time. People stayed very enthusiastic about it. Then it dipped down, but it stayed up pretty high. But then when it had a big turn, it started to really come down fast. So it went from an overbought situation in the matter of only a few weeks to now below 30. It's sitting here, you can see on the right side where it says 26.07, or here it's 25.37 if I can get on the line. So it's definitely below 30 and definitely in an oversold situation. So with all that saying is good stock, good long-term performance, had a recent sell-off. You can use other indicators and say, oh, okay, we've oversold here. This might be a time to get in and buy Adobe. So as you can see, it's an actual pretty easy measure to use. With things like trend lines, you see me drawing trend lines and I have to know kind of where to place them and to place them correctly. But with the relative strength index, I just have to choose the indicator, look at the number, maybe look at the trend on that too, and just know my 70 is overbought, 70 plus is overbought, 30 and below is oversold. And then I want to use other indicators and things to say how I might want to then take action. If I'm looking to maybe buy Adobe for a long period, for example, I might be like, I'm going to hold Adobe for months, maybe years, maybe forever. I really believe in the stock. A person could say, what a great opportunity to buy. Maybe they're a buy and hold investor. They're like, I already own Adobe stock. Maybe I should have sold when it got pretty high, but I'm going to hang on to it. And in fact, I'm going to buy more because it's showing an oversold situation if the other fundamentals and the overall direction of the company still sounds good to you. So like anything, especially when it comes to technical analysis, it's an indicator to help give you an idea what might be happening mathematically and graphically, but you still as an investor have to make the right decisions. So with that, that's kind of the relative strength index. I hope you enjoy it. Give it a try. Practice it out a little bit. Again, if you like that kind of stuff, check out my technical analysis course. I also have a complete, big, masterclass around investing in stocks. Check that out too. All of it's below. So do check out the courses and check out the other videos on the channel. All right, with that, I wish you all the best of luck in your investing journey and use that relative strength index and see if it works for you.